Long before cities, written languages, or modern technology, humanity's earliest ancestors lived in a world where every sunrise, every storm, and every full moon carried profound meaning. These prehistoric tribes didn't just survive, they thrived by weaving intricate rituals and ceremonies into the fabric of their lives. But what were these rituals, and why did they matter so deeply? Today, we're stepping into a forgotten world, one where fire was more than a tool. It was a bridge to the divine, where the moon wasn't just a rock in the sky, but a guide to life's rhythms, and where every ceremony held the power to connect the living with the unseen forces of the universe. In this video, we'll uncover 30 astonishing rituals and ceremonies that shaped the lives of prehistoric tribes. From bone-chilling initiation rites to celestial celebrations, these ancient practices reveal how our ancestors sought to understand the mysteries of existence. Together, we'll explore how these forgotten traditions still echo in our modern lives, offering a fascinating glimpse into the ingenuity and spirituality of humanity's earliest days. Are you ready to unlock the secrets of the past? Let's begin. Under the vast expanse of the night sky, prehistoric tribes gathered in awe of the moon's radiant glow. For them, the full moon wasn't just a celestial event, it was a call to come together, to celebrate, and to connect with the rhythms of the universe. These ancient people believed the moon held a sacred energy, one that influenced the tides, the growth of crops, and even the cycles of life itself. And so they danced. Their movements were not random but carefully choreographed, each step and gesture designed to honor the moon's power. Accompanied by the deep, resonant beats of drums and the haunting echoes of chants, these moonlit dances were more than performances, they were acts of spiritual communion. Archaeologists have found striking evidence of these rituals in caves across the world. Ancient paintings depict figures with arms raised toward crescent moons, their bodies painted with symbols of fertility and abundance. These images tell a story of a people deeply attuned to the natural world, who saw the moon as a divine guide. For them, the lunar cycle wasn't just a measure of time. It was a map for planting, harvesting, and even predicting seasonal changes. By aligning their lives with the moon's phases, they believed they could ensure bountiful crops and thriving communities. But the significance of these lunar dances extended far beyond agriculture. They were also a way to connect with the unseen forces of the universe. The rhythmic drumming and chanting created a trance-like state, allowing participants to transcend the physical world and tap into the moon's mystical energy. It was a moment of unity, where the tribe came together to reaffirm their bond with nature and each other. And while the specifics of these rituals varied from tribe to tribe, the underlying reverence for the moon was a common thread that wove through countless cultures. What's truly remarkable is how this ancient practice echoes in modern traditions. From the moon festivals of East Asia to the lunar calendars still used in some parts of the world, the moon's influence remains a powerful symbol of renewal and connection. These prehistoric tribes may have lived thousands of years ago, but their understanding of the moon's role in life cycles continues to resonate with us today. Through their dances, they left a legacy, one that reminds us of humanity's enduring quest to find meaning in the stars above. Fire has always been more than a tool. It's a force that has captivated humanity since the dawn of time. For prehistoric tribes, fire wasn't just a source of warmth or a way to cook food. It was a living, breathing entity, a sacred gift thought to have been bestowed by the gods themselves. The sacred fire ceremony was one of the most profound rituals in their spiritual lives, a practice that went far beyond the practical uses of flame. At the heart of every village, a communal fire burned, often meticulously tended for generations. This eternal flame was more than a symbol. It was a tangible link between the tribe, their ancestors, and the divine. The process of keeping the fire alive was a sacred duty passed down through the generations. It wasn't just about maintaining the flame, it was about preserving the tribe's connection to something greater. The fire represented continuity, a living reminder that even as individuals passed on, the community endured. And when the fire burned low, it was a cause for great concern, as if the very spirit of the tribe were at risk. To rekindle it, they would perform elaborate rituals, often involving offerings of herbs, animal bones, or even precious objects. These sacrifices weren't just thrown into the flames, they were gifts, carefully chosen to honor the gods and carry the tribe's prayers skyward. The smoke rising from the fire was believed to carry those prayers to the heavens, a sacred bridge between the earthly and the spiritual realms. The crackling of the flames wasn't just noise, it was the voice of the fire, speaking to the spirits on behalf of the tribe. In some cultures, the direction of the smoke or the way the flames danced was interpreted as messages from the gods, guiding the tribe's decisions and actions. This made the fire not just a spiritual symbol, but a practical tool for divination, a way to seek answers to life's most pressing questions. What's fascinating is how universal this reverence for fire seems to be. From the hearths of ancient Europe to the ceremonial fires of indigenous tribes in the Americas, fire has always held a dual role, both as a source of life and as a symbol of transformation. It's no wonder that even today, fire remains a powerful metaphor in our rituals, from the candles we light in moments of reflection to the bonfires that bring communities together in celebration. The sacred fire ceremony of prehistoric tribes may seem distant, but its echoes can still be felt in the way we gather around a flame, seeking warmth, connection, and a sense of the divine. Through these rituals, our ancestors found a way to make sense of the world around them, to find meaning in the flickering light of a fire. They understood that fire was more than a physical phenomenon. It was a force that could transform, protect, and connect. And in that understanding, they left us a legacy, one that continues to burn brightly in the human imagination. Deep within the heart of prehistoric societies, there existed rituals so intense, so transformative, that they could only be described as a trial by fire, or in some cases, a trial by ice. These were the initiation rites, ceremonies designed to push young tribe members to their limits, testing not just their physical endurance, but their mental fortitude and spiritual resolve. Imagine standing on the edge of a frozen lake, your breath visible in the frigid air, as the elders of your tribe demand you plunge into the icy waters. This wasn't just a test of survival, it was a rite of passage, a way to prove your worthiness to join the ranks of adulthood. These ceremonies often involved extreme physical challenges, each one carefully crafted to push initiates beyond their perceived limits. Some tribes required fasting for days, forcing the young to confront hunger and weakness head-on. Others sent them into the wilderness alone, armed with nothing but their wits, to face dangerous animals or navigate treacherous terrain. But perhaps the most profound of these rituals were those that involved symbolic death and rebirth. In these ceremonies, initiates would be painted with ash or clay, their faces masked to resemble the dead. They would then be secluded in a dark, confined space, often for days, before emerging as if reborn, no longer children, but full-fledged members of the tribe. The symbolism here is striking. The act of dying and being reborn wasn't just a dramatic performance. It was a deeply spiritual experience, one that marked the death of childhood innocence and the birth of adult responsibility. For the tribe, these rites were essential. They ensured that only the strongest, most resilient individuals would carry the community forward. But for the initiates, it was a moment of profound transformation, a chance to shed their old identity and step into a new role, one that came with both privileges and duties. What's fascinating is how these ancient practices resonate with modern coming-of-age traditions. From the bar mitzvahs and quinceañeras of today to the elaborate ceremonies of indigenous cultures still practiced around the world, the idea of marking the transition from childhood to adulthood remains a universal human experience. These prehistoric initiation rites weren't just about physical challenges. They were about forging identity, building resilience, and creating a sense of belonging. They remind us that growing up has always been a journey, one that requires courage, strength, and a willingness to face the unknown. These rituals also reveal something profound about the human spirit. They show us that even in the harshest of environments, our ancestors found ways to instill values, build community, and prepare the next generation for the challenges ahead. The echoes of these ancient rites can still be felt today, not just in formal ceremonies, but in the everyday moments that test our resolve and shape who we become. In the face of adversity, we still seek to prove ourselves, to emerge stronger and wiser, just as those prehistoric initiates did thousands of years ago. In the shadowy depths of ancient forests and across sweeping plains, prehistoric tribes saw more than just animals. They saw guides, protectors, and embodiments of the divine. To them, every creature, from the soaring eagle to the prowling wolf, carried a spirit of immense power. These animal spirits weren't just symbols, they were believed to hold the wisdom of the natural world, offering strength, courage, and even foresight to those who honored them. And so, to connect with these sacred beings, tribes crafted something extraordinary: animal spirit masks. These weren't mere decorations, they were bridges to another realm, tools to channel the essence of the animal they represented. The creation of these masks was a ritual in itself. Artisans would spend weeks, even months, carefully carving wood, shaping bone, or molding clay into the likeness of a bear, a raven, or a stag. Each mask was a masterpiece, adorned with feathers, fur, and vivid pigments made from natural dyes. Every detail mattered: the curve of a beak, the glint of an eye, the texture of fur, all designed to capture the essence of the animal's spirit. But these masks were more than art. They were sacred objects, believed to carry the power of the animal they depicted. When worn, the mask wasn't just a disguise, it was a transformation. The wearer became the animal, embodying its strength, agility, and wisdom. During ceremonies, these masks took center stage. Dancers, clad in the masks and often draped in animal skins, would move in rhythm with drumbeats and chants, their bodies swaying, leaping, and crouching in mimicry of the animal's movements. It wasn't just a performance, it was an act of communion. The dancers believed they could channel the animal's spirit, drawing on its power to protect the tribe, ensure a successful hunt, or even predict the future. In those moments, the line between human and animal blurred, and the tribe felt a profound connection to the natural world. This practice reveals something extraordinary about our ancestors, their belief in the interconnectedness of all life. They didn't see themselves as separate from nature, but as part of a vast, living web. The animal spirit masks were a way to honor that connection, to acknowledge the gifts that animals brought to their lives. Today, this ancient bond continues to inspire. From indigenous ceremonies that still use animal masks to modern art and literature that draw on animal symbolism, the legacy of these prehistoric rituals lives on. They remind us that, even in our technologically advanced world, the wisdom of the natural world still calls to us, urging us to remember our place within it. What's truly remarkable is how these masks transcended their practical purpose. They weren't just tools for rituals, they were expressions of identity, storytelling, and spirituality. Each mask told a story of the animal it represented, of the tribe that created it, and of the bond between humans and the wild. Through these masks, our ancestors found a way to bridge the gap between the seen and the unseen, the human and the animal, the earthly and the divine. And in doing so, they left us a powerful reminder that the spirit of the wild still lives within us, waiting to be awakened. As the golden hues of autumn painted the landscape, prehistoric tribes gathered to celebrate one of the most important events of the year, the harvest feast. This wasn't just a meal, it was a grand ceremony of gratitude, a time to honor the earth's generosity and the hard work of the community. Imagine the scene: long tables laden with freshly harvested fruits, grains, and roasted meats, surrounded by the sounds of laughter, music, and the rhythmic stomping of dancers. The air was thick with the scent of herbs and smoke from the cooking fires, a sensory feast to match the abundance before them. For these ancient people, the harvest feast was more than a celebration. It was a sacred act of giving thanks, a way to ensure the land would continue to provide in the years to come. The rituals surrounding the feast were as elaborate as they were meaningful. Before anyone could eat, offerings were made to the spirits of the land. Bundles of grain, baskets of fruit, and even portions of the harvest itself were carefully arranged on altars or buried in the soil. These gifts weren't just symbolic, they were acts of reciprocity, a way of saying, "We take, but we also give back." The belief was simple yet profound. By showing gratitude, the tribe could maintain a harmonious relationship with the natural world, ensuring future prosperity. It was a delicate balance, one that required respect, humility, and a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. Music and dance played a central role in these celebrations, transforming the feast into a vibrant, communal experience. Drums pounded out rhythms that seemed to echo the heartbeat of the earth, while flutes and rattles added layers of sound that filled the air with energy. Dancers, adorned with leaves, flowers, and painted designs, moved in patterns that mimicked the cycles of nature, spirals to represent growth, circles to symbolize unity, and leaps to embody the joy of abundance. These performances weren't just entertainment, they were a way of weaving the community together, reinforcing bonds and reminding everyone of their shared dependence on the land. What's striking about these harvest feasts is how universal they feel. From the ancient world to modern times, the act of gathering to celebrate the harvest has been a cornerstone of human culture. Think of Thanksgiving in North America, the Mid-Autumn Festival in East Asia, or the various harvest festivals still celebrated in Europe and beyond. These traditions all share a common thread, a deep-seated recognition of the Earth's generosity and the importance of coming together as a community. The prehistoric tribes may have lived thousands of years ago, but their values of gratitude, reciprocity, and unity resonate just as strongly today. Through their harvest feasts, these ancient people left us a powerful lesson that abundance is not just about what we take from the land, but how we honor it. Their ceremonies remind us to pause, to give thanks, and to celebrate the connections that sustain us. In a world that often feels rushed and disconnected, these rituals offer a timeless invitation to slow down, to savor the moment, and to remember the simple yet profound joy of sharing a meal with those we hold dear. Beneath the infinite expanse of the night sky, prehistoric tribes found more than darkness. They discovered a tapestry of light, a celestial map that guided their lives in ways we can only begin to understand. For them, the stars weren't just distant specks of light, they were the eyes of their ancestors, watching over the living from the heavens above. This belief transformed the night sky into a sacred space, a place where the past, present, and future converged. And so, under the shimmering canopy of stars, they gathered to honor this cosmic connection through rituals that were as profound as they were practical. At the heart of these ceremonies was storytelling. Elders, revered as the keepers of wisdom, would sit beneath the stars and recount myths that gave meaning to the constellations. Each cluster of stars was more than a random arrangement. It was a story waiting to be told. Orion wasn't just a hunter, he was a hero who roamed the heavens, forever chasing his prey. The Pleiades weren't simply a group of stars, they were seven sisters, their tale one of love, loss, and eternal unity. These stories weren't just entertainment, they were lessons, passed down through generations, teaching the tribe about courage, morality, and the cycles of life. Through these myths, the stars became a living library, their light a reminder of the tribe's history and values. But the stars weren't just a source of stories, they were also a calendar, a tool to mark the passage of time. The alignment of certain constellations signaled the changing of the seasons, guiding the tribe in their daily lives. The summer solstice, when the sun reached its highest point, was a time of celebration, a moment to honor the sun's life-giving energy. The winter solstice, on the other hand, marked a time of reflection as the tribe prepared for the cold months ahead. These celestial events weren't just observed, they were woven into the fabric of the tribe's rituals, creating a rhythm that connected them to the natural world. What's truly fascinating is how these ancient practices reveal a deep understanding of the cosmos. Without telescopes or written records, prehistoric tribes mapped the night sky with astonishing accuracy, using its patterns to navigate, plan, and even predict future events. This knowledge wasn't just practical, it was spiritual, a way to align their lives with the greater forces of the universe. And while we may no longer rely on the stars for navigation or timekeeping, their allure remains as powerful as ever. From the astrological traditions of ancient civilizations to the modern fascination with space exploration, humanity's connection to the stars endures. These starry night sky rituals remind us of something profound, that even in the vastness of the cosmos, we are not alone. For prehistoric tribes, the stars were a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a way to feel connected to something greater than themselves. And in a world that often feels chaotic and disconnected, that ancient wisdom still speaks to us. The next time you look up at the night sky, take a moment to imagine what our ancestors saw, not just stars, but stories, guidance, and a reminder of the timeless bond between humanity and the universe. It's a connection that transcends time, inviting us to find meaning in the infinite expanse above. In the flickering glow of a fire, surrounded by the hushed whispers of a tribe, the shaman would begin to chant. These weren't just words or melodies, they were vibrations, carefully crafted to resonate with the very fabric of existence. For prehistoric tribes, the shaman was more than a healer. They were a bridge between worlds, a conduit for the unseen forces that shaped their lives. And at the heart of their practice was the shamanic chant, a powerful ritual that combined sound, rhythm, and intention to heal, protect, and transform. The power of these chants lay in their ability to create a sacred space, one where the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds blurred. Accompanied by the steady beat of a drum and the fragrant smoke of burning herbs like sage or cedar, the shaman's voice would rise and fall in waves, each note carrying the weight of the tribe's hopes and fears. The drumming wasn't just background noise, it was a heartbeat, a pulse that synchronized with the rhythms of the earth itself. Together, the chant and the drum created an atmosphere of transcendence, allowing the shaman to enter altered states of consciousness where they could communicate with the spirits. But what made these chants so effective, it wasn't just the sound, it was the intention behind it. Each chant was a prayer, a plea for healing or protection, and the shaman's voice was believed to amplify that plea, carrying it directly to the spirits. For the sick, the chant was a form of medicine, its vibrations thought to cleanse the body of illness and restore balance. For the tribe, it was a shield, a way to ward off evil spirits and ensure the community's safety. And for the shaman, it was a tool of transformation, a way to access hidden knowledge and bring it back to the tribe. The herbs burned during these ceremonies added another layer of meaning. Their smoke was believed to purify the air, creating a sacred environment where the spirits could be approached. Different herbs had different purposes, some for cleansing, others for protection, and still others for enhancing spiritual vision. Together with the chant and the drum, they formed a trinity of elements that transformed a simple ritual into a profound spiritual experience. What's remarkable is how these ancient practices resonate with modern ideas about the healing power of sound. Today, we know that certain frequencies can affect the brain, reducing stress, promoting relaxation, and even aiding in recovery from illness. While prehistoric tribes didn't have the scientific understanding we do, they intuitively grasped the idea that sound could influence the body and mind. Their chants were a form of sound therapy, one that combined music, intention, and spirituality in a way that still feels relevant today. These shamanic rituals remind us of the deep connection between sound and healing, a connection that transcends time and culture. Whether through the rhythmic chants of a shaman or the soothing melodies of modern music therapy, the power of sound to heal and transform is a universal truth. It's a reminder that, even in our high-tech world, the ancient wisdom of our ancestors still has much to teach us about the world, about ourselves, and about the boundless potential of the human spirit. In the heart of every prehistoric tribe, there was a sound that transcended mere music, a deep, resonant pulse that seemed to echo the very heartbeat of the earth. This was the sacred drum, an instrument that held far greater significance than its simple construction might suggest. Crafted from animal hides stretched over hollowed wood or clay, the drum wasn't just a tool for rhythm, it was a vessel of the divine. For these ancient people, its sound wasn't just heard, it was felt, a vibration that connected them to the spiritual realm and to each other. The drum's role in ceremonies was nothing short of transformative. When the beat began, it wasn't just a call to gather, it was an invitation to journey beyond the physical world. The steady, hypnotic rhythm created a bridge between the earthly and the spiritual, guiding participants into trance-like states where the boundaries of reality seemed to dissolve. In these moments, the drum became more than an instrument. It was a conduit, a way to speak to the spirits and receive their guidance. The faster the beat, the deeper the trance, as the drum's pulse synchronized with the heartbeats of those who listened, creating a profound sense of unity and connection. This wasn't just about music, it was about transformation. The drum's rhythm was believed to mimic the heartbeat of Mother Earth herself, a reminder that all life is interconnected. As the sound reverberated through the air, it carried the tribe's prayers and intentions, amplifying their energy and sending it skyward. The drum became a voice, one that spoke not in words but in vibrations, reaching the spirits in a language beyond human speech. For shamans, it was an essential tool, helping them navigate the unseen realms and bring back wisdom, healing, and prophecy. What's fascinating is how universal this practice seems to be. From the tribal drums of Africa to the ceremonial frame drums of indigenous North American cultures, the drum has always been a symbol of unity and spiritual power. Even today, its influence can be felt in the rhythmic beats of modern music, from the pulsing bass of electronic dance music to the steady cadence of meditation soundtracks. The sacred drum of prehistoric tribes may have been crafted from simple materials, but its legacy is anything but primitive. It's a testament to humanity's enduring desire to connect with each other, with the earth, and with the mysteries that lie beyond. These ancient rituals reveal something profound about the role of music in human spirituality. It's not just about sound, it's about resonance, about the way rhythm can synchronize our bodies and minds, creating a shared experience that transcends individuality. The sacred drum reminds us that, long before written language or modern technology, our ancestors found ways to communicate with the divine through the power of vibration. And in that discovery, they left us a gift, a timeless reminder that sometimes the most profound connections are made not with words, but with the steady, unifying beat of a drum. Hidden within the labyrinthine depths of caves, far from the light of day, lies one of humanity's earliest and most enigmatic forms of storytelling: prehistoric cave paintings. These astonishing artworks, etched and painted onto rough stone walls, are more than just ancient graffiti. They are sacred records, capturing the rituals, beliefs, and daily lives of the tribes who created them. Imagine standing in the flickering glow of a torch, surrounded by the shadows of bison, deer, and other creatures that seem to leap off the walls. For prehistoric tribes, these caves weren't just shelters, they were portals to another world, places where the physical and spiritual realms intertwine. The act of creating these paintings was itself a profound ritual. Artists, often shamans or spiritual leaders, would descend into the caves, armed with pigments made from natural materials like charcoal, ochre, and clay. The process was meticulous, requiring not just skill, but a deep connection to the subject being depicted. Every stroke of the brush or handprint on the wall was deliberate, a way of capturing the essence of the animal or spirit and bringing it to life. These images weren't meant to be mere decorations. They were believed to hold power, to influence the success of hunts, to honor the spirits of the animals, or to communicate with the unseen forces that shaped their world. What's particularly striking is the way these paintings reflect the tribe's understanding of their environment. The animals depicted, bison, horses, mammoths, were not just food sources, they were symbols of strength, fertility, and spiritual energy. By painting them, the tribes sought to harness that energy to ensure their survival and prosperity, but it wasn't just animals that adorned the walls. Human figures, often depicted in hunting scenes or ritualistic poses, reveal a complex interplay between the physical and spiritual. Some figures appear to be shamans, their bodies adorned with animal attributes, suggesting a belief in transformation and the fluidity of identity. The caves themselves played a crucial role in these rituals. Dark, secluded, and often difficult to access, they were seen as liminal spaces, places where the ordinary rules of the world no longer applied. Entering a cave was like stepping into the realm of the spirits, a place where the boundaries between life and death, past and present, blurred. The echoing acoustics of the caves may have amplified the chants and drumbeats of ceremonies, creating an immersive experience that heightened the sense of connection to the divine. Today, these cave paintings continue to captivate us, not just for their artistic beauty, but for the insights they offer into the minds of our ancestors. They remind us that creativity and spirituality have always been intertwined, that art is not just a form of expression, but a way of engaging with the mysteries of existence. The next time you see a modern painting or sculpture, consider the ancient hands that first brought images to life on stone walls. These prehistoric artists may have lived thousands of years ago, but their legacy endures, a testament to humanity's enduring desire to make sense of the world and to leave a mark that transcends time. These masterpieces are more than just art. They are a bridge to the past, offering us a glimpse into the rituals and beliefs that shaped prehistoric life. Through their vibrant colors and intricate designs, they tell a story of reverence, creativity, and the timeless quest to connect with something greater than ourselves. In the heart of the forest, towering above the undergrowth, stood a tree unlike any other. Its roots ran deep, its branches stretched wide, and its presence seemed to hum with a quiet, ancient energy. For prehistoric tribes, trees weren't just part of the landscape, they were living symbols of life itself, bridges between the earth and the heavens. Among these, one tree would often be chosen as sacred, becoming the focal point of one of their most cherished rituals, the ceremony of the sacred tree. This wasn't a casual act of reverence, it was a deeply spiritual practice, designed to honor the tree as a source of wisdom, strength, and connection. Tribes believed that trees, with their roots buried in the soil and their crowns brushing the sky, held a unique position in the natural world. They were seen as mediators, capable of channeling the energy of the earth and the heavens, and their presence was thought to bring balance and harmony to the community. To honor this sacred bond, tribes would gather at the base of the tree, bringing offerings of food, flowers, and handmade tokens. These weren't just gifts, they were acts of gratitude, a way of saying, "We see you, we honor you, and we thank you for your gifts." The rituals performed at the sacred tree were as varied as the tribes themselves. In some cultures, prayers were whispered into the wind, carried upward by the rustling leaves. In others, ribbons or strips of cloth were tied to the branches, each one representing a hope, a dream, or a plea for protection. The tree became a living altar, a place where the spiritual and the physical worlds met. For the tribe, it was more than just a symbol. It was a tangible reminder of their interconnectedness with nature and with each other. But the sacred tree wasn't just a site for spiritual ceremonies. It was also a hub of communal life. Beneath its sprawling branches, tribes would gather to make important decisions, resolve conflicts, or celebrate milestones. It was a place of unity where the wisdom of the elders could be shared and the voices of the young could be heard. In this way, the tree became a symbol of continuity, a living link between generations, reminding the tribe that they were part of something greater than themselves. What's remarkable is how this ancient practice echoes in modern traditions. From the tree lighting ceremonies of Christmas to the Bodhi tree revered in Buddhism, trees continue to hold a sacred place in our collective imagination. They remind us of the enduring bond between humanity and nature, a bond that prehistoric tribes understood deeply. Through their rituals, they showed us that trees are more than just plants. They are teachers, protectors, and symbols of life's resilience. The next time you walk through a forest or sit beneath the shade of a tree, take a moment to listen. Beneath the rustle of leaves and the creak of branches, you might just hear the whispers of an ancient ritual, one that invites us to remember our place in the web of life. The sacred tree may have been a symbol of the past, but its message of connection, gratitude, and harmony is timeless. In the heart of the tribe's gathering place, as the seasons turned and the world shifted, a profound ceremony unfolded, one that celebrated the very essence of existence. This was the dance of the four elements, a ritual that honored earth, air, fire, and water as the sacred forces that shaped life itself. For prehistoric tribes, these weren't just abstract concepts. They were living, breathing energies, each with its own spirit and power. The dance was more than a performance, it was a prayer, a way to harmonize with the rhythms of nature and ensure balance in the world around them. The ceremony began with the earth, its steady, grounding energy represented by slow, deliberate movements. Dancers would crouch low, their hands brushing the ground as if drawing strength from the soil itself. Their steps were heavy and deliberate, echoing the stability and fertility of the land. Next came air, embodied by light, flowing gestures that mimicked the wind's unpredictable dance. Arms would sweep and swirl, bodies turning and leaping, as if carried by an invisible breeze. The transition to fire brought a burst of energy, with rapid, flickering motions that mirrored the crackling of flames. Finally, water flowed into the dance, its movements smooth and undulating, a reminder of the life-giving power of rivers and rain. But this wasn't just a physical expression, it was a spiritual act. Each element was believed to hold its own wisdom, and by embodying their movements, the dancers sought to absorb their qualities. Earth taught resilience, air brought clarity, fire ignited passion, and water offered adaptability. Together, these elements formed a delicate balance, one that the tribe recognized as essential to their survival. The dance was a way of aligning themselves with this balance, of acknowledging their place within the larger web of life. What's fascinating is how this ancient ritual mirrors modern understandings of ecology and interconnectedness. The idea that all things are linked, that the health of the earth, the air, the fire, and the water affects us all, is a concept that resonates deeply today. From environmental movements to spiritual practices, the dance of the four elements reminds us that harmony isn't just a lofty ideal. It's a necessity, a way of living that honors the delicate relationships between all living things. This ritual also reveals something profound about the human capacity for creativity and connection. Through movement and symbolism, prehistoric tribes found a way to express their reverence for the natural world, to celebrate its beauty and its power. And while the specifics of their dance may have been unique to their culture, its essence, its celebration of balance and unity, is universal. It's a reminder that no matter how far we've come, we are still deeply connected to the elements that sustain us and to the rhythms of the earth that have guided humanity since the beginning of time. In the quiet stillness of a sacred grove or beneath the shadow of ancient burial mounds, prehistoric tribes gathered to honor those who came before them. For these ancient people, death was not an end but a transition, a journey to a realm where ancestors became guardians, guides, and wise counsel. The ritual of the ancestral spirits was more than a ceremony, it was a profound act of connection, a way to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. Through offerings, prayers, and acts of remembrance, tribes sought to keep their ancestors close, ensuring their wisdom and protection would endure for generations. At the heart of this ritual was the belief that ancestors remained deeply intertwined with the lives of the living. They were seen as powerful allies, capable of influencing the tribe's fortunes, from the success of hunts to the fertility of crops. To honor them, tribes would prepare elaborate offerings, bowls of grain, jars of honey, or cups of sacred drink, placing them at burial sites or other hallowed spaces. These weren't just gifts, they were acts of reciprocity, a way of saying, "We remember you and we thank you for your guidance." The food and drink left behind were believed to nourish the spirits, sustaining their presence in the world of the living. Prayers played a central role in these ceremonies, often spoken in hushed tones or chanted in rhythmic patterns. The words weren't just requests for help, they were expressions of gratitude, love, and respect. Elders, as the keepers of tribal memory, would often lead these prayers, their voices carrying the weight of generations. They would recount stories of the ancestors, their deeds, and their wisdom, ensuring that their legacy remained alive in the hearts of the tribe. In this way, the ritual wasn't just about honoring the dead, it was about preserving the tribe's identity, its values, and its history. What's particularly striking is how these rituals reflect a deep understanding of the human need for connection. For prehistoric tribes, ancestors weren't distant figures from the past, they were an integral part of daily life. Their presence was felt in the rustle of leaves, the crackle of a fire, or the whisper of the wind. By honoring them, the tribe strengthened its sense of continuity, its belief that every individual was part of a larger story, one that stretched back through time and would continue into the future. Even today, the echoes of these ancient practices can be seen in cultures around the world. From the Day of the Dead in Mexico to the Qingming Festival in China, the act of honoring ancestors remains a powerful tradition, a way of keeping memory alive and reaffirming our place in the tapestry of life. These rituals remind us that the past is never truly gone. It lives on in the stories we tell, the values we uphold, and the connections we cherish. Through the ritual of the ancestral spirits, prehistoric tribes showed us something timeless, that memory is a gift, a way of binding us to those who came before and those who will come after. It's a reminder that, even in the face of loss, we are never truly alone. We are part of a lineage, a chain of lives woven together by love, respect, and the enduring power of remembrance. As the sky darkened and the moon vanished from view, prehistoric tribes saw more than just an absence of light. They saw an opportunity for renewal. The new moon, a time when the night sky was at its darkest, was a sacred moment for these ancient people. It wasn't just a celestial event, it was a call to pause, to reflect, and to reset. For them, the new moon symbolized a blank slate, a chance to shed the old and embrace the new. And so, they gathered to perform the ceremony of the new moon, a ritual that blended introspection, intention, and a deep connection to the rhythms of nature. At the heart of this ceremony was the act of fasting. For a day or more, tribe members would abstain from food, using the physical act of restraint as a way to clear the mind and open the spirit. This wasn't just about discipline, it was a form of purification, a way to strip away distractions and focus on what truly mattered. During this time, they would meditate, often sitting in silence under the vast, starless sky. In those quiet moments, they sought clarity, guidance for the days ahead, answers to pressing questions, or simply a deeper understanding of their place in the world. But the ceremony of the new moon wasn't just about looking inward, it was also about creating outward symbols of their intentions. Using materials found in nature, stones, feathers, or carved pieces of wood, they would craft talismans or amulets, each one imbued with personal meaning. A polished stone might represent strength, a feather could symbolize freedom, and a carved figure might embody protection. These objects weren't just decorative, they were tools, carrying the energy of the tribe's hopes and dreams into the coming weeks. Worn close to the body or placed in sacred spaces, they served as constant reminders of the intentions set during the ceremony. What makes this ritual so fascinating is its universality. Across cultures and continents, the new moon has long been seen as a time of renewal, a moment to reset and realign. Even today, many people mark the new moon as a time for setting goals, journaling, or practicing mindfulness. The prehistoric tribes may not have had the language or tools we use today, but their understanding of the new moon's power was remarkably similar. They recognized that life is cyclical, that endings are followed by beginnings, and that taking time to reflect is essential for growth. This ancient practice speaks to something timeless within us, the need to pause, to reflect, and to realign ourselves with the natural world. In our fast-paced, modern lives, it's easy to lose sight of these rhythms, to forget that we, too, are part of a larger cycle. The ceremony of the new moon reminds us to slow down, to honor the quiet moments, and to set intentions that guide us forward. It's a lesson in balance, a reminder that even in the darkness, there is potential for new light. Through their rituals, these prehistoric tribes showed us the profound power of introspection and alignment. They understood that the new moon wasn't just a celestial event, it was an invitation to grow, to change, and to connect with the deeper currents of life. And as we look up at the night sky, perhaps we can find inspiration in their wisdom, using the new moon as a time to reset, reflect, and renew. After all, the darkness is not an end, it's the beginning of something new. In the shimmering light of dawn, where the first rays of the sun kissed the surface of a still lake or a bubbling spring, prehistoric tribes gathered to perform one of their most profound rituals, the ritual of the sacred waters. To these ancient people, water wasn't just a necessity for survival, it was a living, breathing force, a gift from the earth itself. They saw it as a source of life, a purifier, and a bridge to the spiritual realm. And so, they honored it with ceremonies that celebrated its power to heal, renew, and connect. At the heart of these rituals was the act of immersion. Tribes would gather at natural springs, rivers, or lakes, their waters believed to hold unique spiritual properties. Bathing in these sacred waters wasn't just about physical cleanliness, it was a symbolic act of purification. As the water washed over their bodies, it was thought to carry away not just dirt but also negative energy, illness, and spiritual burdens. For the tribe, this was a moment of renewal, a chance to emerge from the water reborn, their spirits cleansed and their connection to the divine strengthened. But the ritual of the sacred waters didn't end with bathing. Drinking from these waters was equally significant, a way to internalize their healing power. Tribes believed that the water carried the essence of the earth, infusing those who drank it with vitality and wisdom. In some ceremonies, offerings were made, flowers, herbs, or even small carvings tossed into the water as gifts to the spirits. These acts weren't just symbolic, they were expressions of gratitude, a way of acknowledging the water's role in sustaining life. What made these waters truly sacred, however, was their perceived ability to serve as portals to the spirit world. The shimmering surface of a lake or the rushing flow of a river was thought to be a boundary between the physical and the spiritual, a place where the living could communicate with the divine. Shamans would often lead these ceremonies, chanting prayers or performing rituals to open the way for spiritual guidance. The sound of the water, whether the gentle lapping of waves or the roar of a waterfall, was believed to amplify these prayers, carrying them to the heavens. This ancient reverence for water isn't just a relic of the past, it continues to inspire us today. From the holy rivers of India to the baptismal waters of Christianity, the idea of water as a source of purification and renewal remains a powerful symbol in modern spirituality. Even beyond religion, the environmental movements of today echo the respect prehistoric tribes had for water, reminding us of its vital role in sustaining life on our planet. Through the ritual of the sacred waters, these ancient people showed us something timeless, that water is more than a resource, it is a sacred force, a gift that connects us to the earth and to each other. Their ceremonies remind us to honor this precious element, not just for its practical uses but for its deeper, spiritual significance. In a world where water is often taken for granted, their wisdom invites us to pause, to reflect, and to remember the profound role it plays in our lives. In the flickering light of a communal fire, surrounded by the rhythmic pulse of drums, the tribe's dancers would step forward, their bodies adorned with intricate masks and costumes. These weren't just decorations, they were sacred symbols, each one representing an animal totem, a powerful spirit believed to embody the qualities and strengths of the creature it depicted. This was the dance of the animal totems, a ritual that blended artistry, spirituality, and a deep reverence for the natural world. Through movement and symbolism, the tribe sought to connect with the essence of these animals, drawing on their power to guide, protect, and inspire. The preparation for this dance was as meaningful as the performance itself. Artisans would spend weeks crafting the masks and costumes, using materials like wood, feathers, and animal hides. Every detail was intentional: the curve of a beak, the pattern of fur, the placement of feathers, all designed to capture the spirit of the totem. When the dancers donned these costumes, they weren't just wearing a disguise, they were stepping into the identity of the animal, becoming a vessel for its energy. The masks weren't just worn on the face, they were worn on the soul, transforming the dancer into a living embodiment of the totem's power. As the dance began, the movements were anything but random. Each step, each gesture, was carefully choreographed to mimic the animal's behavior. A dancer representing an eagle might leap and soar, their arms outstretched like wings, while one embodying a wolf might move with a low, prowling gait. The rhythm of the drums would shift to match the energy of each totem, fast and frenetic for the swift deer, slow and deliberate for the wise bear. The dancers weren't just performing, they were channeling, allowing the spirit of the animal to flow through them and into the tribe. This ritual wasn't just about spectacle, it was a profound act of connection. The tribe believed that by embodying the qualities of their totems, they could draw on their strengths in times of need. A hunter might invoke the eagle's keen sight, a healer the bear's nurturing instinct, or a warrior the wolf's fierce loyalty. The dance was a way of aligning themselves with these energies, of reminding the tribe that they were part of a larger web of life, where every creature had a role to play. What makes this ritual so compelling is its universality. Across cultures and continents, the idea of animal totems has persisted, from the spirit animals of Native American traditions to the zodiac signs of ancient astrology. These symbols remind us that the qualities we admire in animals, strength, wisdom, resilience, are also qualities we seek to cultivate in ourselves. The dance of the animal totems wasn't just a prehistoric ritual, it was a timeless expression of humanity's desire to connect with the natural world and to find inspiration in its diversity. Through this dance, prehistoric tribes showed us something profound, that the boundaries between humans and animals are more fluid than we might think. They understood that the natural world isn't just a resource to be used, it's a teacher, a guide, and a source of endless inspiration. And as we navigate the challenges of our modern lives, perhaps we can take a lesson from their wisdom, finding strength and guidance in the qualities of the creatures that share our world. After all, in the dance of life, we are all connected, human and animal alike. In the quiet stillness of a sacred clearing, prehistoric tribes gathered around a circle of stones, each one carefully placed with intention and reverence. To the untrained eye, these stones might seem like nothing more than rocks scattered across the earth, but to these ancient people, they were far more. They were vessels of energy, wisdom, and power. This was the ritual of the sacred stones, a practice that blended artistry, spirituality, and a profound connection to the earth itself. The stones used in these rituals weren't chosen at random. Each one was selected for its unique qualities, its shape, texture, or even the way it caught the light. Some were smooth and rounded, believed to hold the gentle energy of flowing water. Others were jagged and rough, thought to carry the fierce power of lightning or the strength of mountains. The act of placing these stones in specific patterns was a sacred art, one that required not just physical effort, but deep spiritual insight. The formations they created, circles, spirals, or even intricate grids, were believed to channel the Earth's energy, creating a space where the physical and spiritual worlds could meet. These stone formations served many purposes, each one as vital as the next. For healing, stones were arranged in patterns that mirrored the body, their energy thought to flow through the patient, restoring balance and vitality. For protection, stones were placed at the boundaries of villages or sacred sites, creating a barrier against negative forces. And for communication with the spirits, stones were arranged in ways that amplified the tribe's prayers, their vibrations carrying messages to the unseen realms. The stones weren't just tools, they were partners, working in harmony with the tribe to bring about change. But the sacred stones weren't just used in rituals, they also marked important places. A circle of stones might indicate a burial ground, a place where the ancestors were honored and remembered. A line of stones could mark the path to a ceremonial space, guiding the tribe to a place of power. These markers weren't just practical, they were symbolic, a way of saying, "This place matters, this place is sacred." Through these stones, the tribe created a map of their world, one that connected the physical and the spiritual, the past and the present. What's truly remarkable about this practice is how it reveals the tribe's deep understanding of the Earth's hidden energies. They saw the world not as a collection of separate objects, but as a living, interconnected system, where every stone, every tree, and every stream had a role to play. Their rituals weren't just about using the Earth's power, they were about honoring it, recognizing that they were part of a larger web of life. This respect for the natural world is something that resonates deeply today, as we grapple with the challenges of environmental sustainability and our place within the ecosystem. The ritual of the sacred stones reminds us that the Earth is more than just a resource. It is a source of wisdom, a teacher, and a partner. Through their rituals, prehistoric tribes showed us how to listen to the Earth, to learn from its rhythms, and to honor its power. And as we walk through our modern world, perhaps we can take a moment to look at the stones beneath our feet, not just as rocks, but as reminders of the deep, enduring connection between humanity and the Earth. After all, the stones have much to teach us, if only we take the time to listen. As the days grew shorter and the nights stretched endlessly, prehistoric tribes faced the darkest time of the year with a mixture of reverence and anticipation. The winter solstice, the longest night, wasn't just a turning point in the calendar, it was a moment of profound significance, a time when the sun seemed to pause before beginning its slow return. For these ancient people, the solstice wasn't a time of despair but of celebration, a reminder that even in the deepest darkness, light would return. This was the ceremony of the sun's return, a ritual that blended hope, gratitude, and a deep connection to the rhythms of nature. At the heart of this ceremony was the lighting of fires. These weren't ordinary flames, they were symbols of the sun itself, representing its rebirth and the promise of warmth and life to come. Tribes would gather around these fires, their faces illuminated by the flickering light, as elders recounted stories of the sun's power and its role in sustaining life. The fires weren't just for warmth or light, they were acts of creation, small suns kindled by human hands to mirror the celestial one above. As the flames crackled and danced, the tribe would join in rhythmic chants and songs, their voices rising in unison to call the sun back from its winter slumber. Feasting played a central role in these celebrations, a way to honor the Earth's bounty even in the leanest months. Tables would be laden with preserved foods, dried meats, fermented vegetables, and grains stored from the harvest. These meals weren't just about sustenance, they were acts of community, a way to share what little they had and reaffirm their bonds. The act of eating together, of passing bowls and breaking bread, was a reminder that survival wasn't just about the individual, but about the strength of the tribe as a whole. In the sharing of food, they found not just nourishment but hope, a belief that they would endure the winter and emerge stronger on the other side. Dancing was equally important, a way to embody the energy and renewal they sought. The movements weren't just physical, they were symbolic, reflecting the cycles of nature and the journey of the sun. Dancers would spiral inward, mimicking the sun's retreat, then burst outward in joyful leaps, celebrating its return. The rhythm of the drums mirrored the heartbeat of the earth, a steady pulse that reassured the tribe of life's continuity. Through these dances, they didn't just celebrate the sun's return, they became part of it, their bodies and spirits aligning with the rhythms of the natural world. What makes these solstice celebrations so enduring is their universal resonance. Across cultures and continents, the winter solstice has been marked by rituals that celebrate light, hope, and renewal. From the Yule traditions of ancient Europe to the Dongjai festival in East Asia, the themes are strikingly similar: a recognition of darkness as a necessary part of the cycle, and a celebration of the light that follows. These rituals remind us that, even in our modern world, we are still deeply connected to the cycles of nature, still seeking meaning and hope in the turning of the seasons. Through the ceremony of the sun's return, prehistoric tribes showed us something timeless, that even in the coldest, darkest times, there is always the promise of light. Their rituals weren't just about survival, they were about finding joy and meaning in the cycles of life. As we gather with loved ones during the winter months, perhaps we can take a moment to remember their wisdom, to celebrate the light within us and around us, and to trust that, no matter how long the night, the sun will always return. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world was cloaked in darkness and the mind wandered freely, prehistoric tribes believed something extraordinary was happening. Dreams, they thought, were not just random images or fleeting thoughts, they were messages from the spirit world, whispers from the unseen realms that held wisdom, warnings, and guidance. This belief gave rise to one of their most intriguing practices, the ritual of the dream seekers. Through fasting, meditation, and the careful use of herbs, tribe members would prepare themselves to receive these sacred messages, turning the act of dreaming into a profound spiritual experience. The ritual began with preparation, a deliberate process designed to open the mind and heighten sensitivity to the spiritual realm. Participants would often fast for a day or more, abstaining from food to clear the body and focus the mind. This wasn't just about physical purification, it was a way of creating mental space, of shedding distractions to better connect with the subconscious. Alongside fasting, they would meditate, often in secluded spaces like caves or forest clearings, where the natural world's energy was believed to be strongest. The goal was to enter a state of deep receptivity, where the boundaries between waking life and the dream world began to blur. Herbs played a crucial role in this process, carefully selected for their ability to enhance dreams and induce vivid, meaningful visions. Plants like mugwort, valerian, and sage were commonly used, either burned as incense, brewed into teas, or placed beneath pillows. These weren't just tools for sleep, they were gateways, believed to open the mind to the messages of the spirits. As the participants drifted into slumber, they did so with intention, their minds attuned to the possibility of receiving guidance from the unseen. When morning came, the dreams were not kept to oneself. Instead, they were shared with the tribe, often in a communal gathering where elders and shamans would interpret their meanings. A dream about a soaring eagle might be seen as a sign of courage or a call to rise above challenges, while a vision of flowing water could symbolize emotional healing or the need for adaptability. These interpretations weren't just personal, they were communal, offering insights that could guide the tribe's decisions, from where to hunt to how to resolve conflicts. In this way, dreams became a shared language, a bridge between the individual and the collective, the physical and the spiritual. What's fascinating about this ritual is how it reflects a deep understanding of the subconscious mind, long before modern psychology gave it a name. Prehistoric tribes recognized that the mind holds layers of wisdom, often hidden beneath the surface of everyday thought. They saw dreams not as random but as meaningful, a way for the spirit world to communicate truths that the waking mind might overlook. This belief in the power of intuition and the subconscious is something that continues to resonate today, from the dream analysis of psychoanalysis to the spiritual practices of modern mystics. The ritual of the dream seekers reminds us that the mind is more than a tool for logic and reason. It is a gateway to deeper understanding, a place where the seen and the unseen meet. Through their practices, prehistoric tribes showed us how to listen to the whispers of the subconscious, to honor the wisdom that comes in the stillness of the night. And as we navigate our own lives, perhaps we can take a lesson from their wisdom, learning to trust the messages that come to us in dreams, not as mere figments of imagination, but as guides on our journey through life. As the earth turned and the seasons shifted, prehistoric tribes didn't just observe these changes, they celebrated them, weaving the cycles of nature into a vibrant tapestry of movement and meaning. This was the dance of the seasons, a ritual that transformed the passage of time into a living, breathing spectacle. For these ancient people, the changing seasons weren't just a backdrop to life. They were the heartbeat of existence, a rhythm that shaped everything from the food they ate to the stories they told. Through dance, they honored this rhythm, creating a ceremony that was as much about gratitude as it was about survival. The dance of the seasons began with spring, a time of renewal and rebirth. Dancers adorned in costumes of blooming flowers and fresh greenery would move with light, joyful steps, their arms outstretched as if to embrace the warmth of the sun. Their movements mirrored the unfurling of leaves and the sprouting of new life, a celebration of the earth's awakening after the long slumber of winter. The air would be filled with the sound of flutes and bells, their melodies echoing the songs of birds returning to the skies. This wasn't just a dance, it was a prayer for abundance, a way to welcome the fertility of the land and ensure a bountiful year ahead. As the dance flowed into summer, the energy shifted. Dancers dressed as the sun and its fiery rays would take center stage, their movements bold and vigorous, embodying the season's intensity. Jumping, twirling, and leaping, they captured the fullness of life, the peak of growth and vitality. The drumbeats grew louder, faster, matching the heat and energy of the sun at its zenith. This part of the ritual was a reminder of the earth's generosity, a time to revel in the richness of the harvest and the strength of the community. It was also a moment of balance, acknowledging the need for both hard work and celebration, for labor and rest. With the arrival of autumn, the dance took on a more reflective tone. Dancers cloaked in the colors of changing leaves, reds, oranges, and golds, would move with slower, more deliberate steps, their gestures mimicking the gathering of crops and the preparation for winter. The music, too, shifted with deeper, resonant tones that evoked the earth's quieting energy. This was a time of gratitude, a moment to give thanks for the harvest and to honor the cycles of life and death. The tribe understood that autumn wasn't just an end, It was a necessary transition, a time to store away the fruits of their labor and prepare for the colder months ahead. Finally, as winter descended, the dance became a ritual of stillness and introspection. Dancers wrapped in white or gray, symbolizing snow and ice, would move with slow, flowing motions, their bodies swaying like the bare branches of trees in the wind. The music grew softer, almost meditative, a reflection of the season's quiet and the tribe's inward focus. This wasn't a time of despair but of reflection, a moment to honor the darkness and the lessons it brought. The tribe knew that winter was a time of rest, a necessary pause before the cycle began anew. What makes the dance of the seasons so profound is its universality. Across cultures and centuries, the changing seasons have been marked by rituals that celebrate the Earth's rhythms, from the spring festivals of ancient Greece to the autumnal harvest feasts of medieval Europe. These traditions remind us that we are part of a larger cycle, one that connects us to the natural world and to each other. The dance of the seasons wasn't just a prehistoric ritual, it was a timeless expression of humanity's relationship with the earth, a reminder to live in harmony with the world around us. Through this dance, prehistoric tribes showed us something extraordinary, that the seasons are more than just a measure of time. They are a teacher, a guide, and a source of endless inspiration. Their rituals invite us to slow down, to notice the beauty in every phase of the year, and to find meaning in the cycles of growth, harvest, rest, and renewal. As we navigate our own lives, perhaps we can take a lesson from their wisdom, learning to dance with the seasons, not against them, and finding joy in the ever-turning wheel of time. Beneath the canopy of ancient forests or across the vast, open plains, prehistoric tribes embarked on a practice that was as much about spirituality as it was about sustenance, the ritual of the sacred hunt. For these early communities, hunting wasn't merely a way to secure food, it was a sacred act, a delicate balance between taking life and honoring it. Every hunt began with reverence, a recognition that the animals they pursued were not just resources but beings with their own spirits, deserving of respect and gratitude. This profound connection between hunter and prey was at the heart of the sacred hunt, a ritual that transformed a basic act of survival into a deeply spiritual experience. Before the hunt even began, the tribe would gather for ceremonies designed to seek the favor of the spirits. Prayers were offered, not just for success, but for the well-being of the animals themselves. Elders would lead the tribe in chants and songs, their voices rising in harmony to ask for guidance and protection. These weren't just pleas for a bountiful hunt, they were acts of humility, a way of acknowledging that the tribe's survival depended on the generosity of the natural world. Offerings, too, were made: bundles of herbs, pieces of precious food, or even small carvings left at the edge of the forest as gifts to the spirits. These acts of reciprocity were essential, a way of saying, "We take, but we also give back." When the hunt commenced, it was carried out with a sense of solemnity and purpose. Hunters moved with precision and care, their actions guided by the belief that the animals they pursued were not merely prey but partners in the cycle of life. They saw themselves not as conquerors, but as participants in a sacred exchange. The moment of the kill was not a cause for celebration, but a moment of reflection. As the animal fell, the hunters would pause, offering silent thanks to its spirit for the life it had given. This wasn't just respect, it was a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all living things, a recognition that life feeds on life, and that every death sustains another's survival. Once the hunt was over, the rituals continued. The animal was treated with the utmost care, its body prepared in ways that honored its sacrifice. Every part of the animal was used: meat for food, bones for tools and hides for clothing or shelter. Nothing was wasted, a practice that reflected the tribe's deep respect for the gift they had been given. Feasts would follow, but these were more than just meals. They were ceremonies of gratitude, where the tribe came together to share in the bounty and to thank the spirits for their generosity. Through these acts, the sacred hunt became more than a means of survival. It was a way of life, a constant reminder of the tribe's place within the natural world. What's striking about the ritual of the sacred hunt is how it reveals a worldview that many modern societies have lost. These tribes didn't see themselves as separate from nature, but as part of it, their lives deeply intertwined with the lives of the animals they hunted. They understood that survival wasn't just about taking, it was about giving, about maintaining a balance that honored the spirits of the land. This respect for the natural world is something that resonates deeply today, as we grapple with the consequences of overconsumption and environmental degradation. The sacred hunt offers a powerful lesson that true sustainability begins with respect, with a recognition that we are not above nature, but a part of it. Through their rituals, prehistoric tribes showed us that hunting could be more than an act of necessity. It could be an act of reverence, a way of forging a deeper connection with the world around us. Their practices remind us to approach the natural world with humility and gratitude, to see not just the value of what we take, but the spirit of what we honor. In a world that often feels disconnected from the rhythms of nature, the ritual of the sacred hunt invites us to remember the bonds that tie us to the earth and to all living things. It's a lesson in balance, in respect, and in the enduring power of gratitude. As the first rays of sunlight spilled over the horizon, signaling the arrival of the harvest season, prehistoric tribes gathered to celebrate one of the most joyous events of the year, the ceremony of the first fruits. This wasn't just a celebration of abundance, it was a profound act of gratitude, a way to honor the earth's generosity and the hard work of the community. Imagine the scene: fields golden with ripe grain, baskets overflowing with freshly picked fruits, and the air buzzing with excitement as the tribe prepared to give thanks for the bounty before them. The first fruits of the harvest weren't just food, they were symbols of life, renewal, and the enduring bond between humanity and nature. At the heart of the ceremony was the act of offering. Before anyone could partake in the feast, the first and finest fruits of the harvest were set aside, carefully arranged on altars or at the base of sacred trees. These weren't just offerings of food, they were gifts of gratitude, tokens of respect for the spirits believed to govern the land. Tribes saw the earth not as a resource to be exploited, but as a living, breathing entity, one that demanded acknowledgement and care. By offering the first fruits, they were saying, "We take, but we also give back," a principle that underscored their deep understanding of reciprocity. This act wasn't just about ensuring future abundance, it was about maintaining harmony with the natural world, a balance that was essential for their survival. Once the offerings were made, the celebration began in earnest. Communal feasting was at the center of the ceremony, a time for the tribe to come together and share in the fruits of their labor. Long tables were laden with dishes made from the harvest: bread baked from freshly ground grain, stews simmering with vegetables, and sweet fruits served as desserts. The act of eating together wasn't just about nourishment, it was a symbol of unity, a reminder that the tribe's strength lay in its collective effort. Elders would often lead the feast, recounting stories of past harvests and the lessons they carried, weaving the wisdom of the past into the fabric of the present. Dancing and music were equally vital to the ceremony, transforming the feast into a vibrant, communal experience. Drums pounded out rhythms that seemed to echo the heartbeat of the earth, while flutes and rattles added layers of sound that filled the air with energy. Dancers, adorned with garlands of flowers and leaves, moved in patterns that mimicked the cycles of nature, spirals to represent growth, circles to symbolize unity, and leaps to embody the joy of abundance. These performances weren't just entertainment, they were a way of weaving the community together, reinforcing bonds and reminding everyone of their shared dependence on the land. What makes the ceremony of the first fruits so compelling is its universal resonance. Across cultures and continents, the act of celebrating the first harvest has been a cornerstone of human tradition. Think of Lammas in ancient Europe, a festival marking the first wheat harvest, or the Pongal festival in South India, where the first rice of the season is offered to the sun god. These traditions all share a common thread, a deep-seated recognition of the earth's generosity and the importance of coming together as a community. The prehistoric tribes may have lived thousands of years ago, but their values of gratitude, sharing, and unity resonate just as strongly today. Through their rituals, these ancient people left us a powerful lesson that abundance is not just about what we take from the land, but how we honor it. Their ceremonies remind us to pause, to give thanks, and to celebrate the connections that sustain us. In a world that often feels rushed and disconnected, these traditions offer a timeless invitation to slow down, to savor the moment, and to remember the simple yet profound joy of sharing a meal with those we hold dear. The ceremony of the first fruits wasn't just a ritual, it was a celebration of life itself, a reminder that gratitude and community are the true harvests of the human spirit. In the heart of ancient gatherings, where the flicker of firelight met the stillness of the night, prehistoric tribes formed a shape that held profound meaning, the circle. To them, this simple yet powerful symbol wasn't just a geometric form, it was a representation of unity, eternity, and the endless cycles of life. The ritual of the sacred circle was a practice that transcended time and place, a way for the tribe to come together in a space of harmony, connection, and shared purpose. Whether gathered around a roaring fire or a revered object, the circle became a sacred container, a place where the physical and spiritual worlds could meet. The formation of the circle was deliberate and meaningful. Each person stood as an equal, their presence contributing to the collective energy of the group. There was no head or tail, no hierarchy, only a seamless flow of connection. This arrangement wasn't just practical, it was symbolic, reflecting the tribe's belief in the interconnectedness of all things. The circle mirrored the cycles of nature, the rising and setting of the sun, the phases of the moon, the turning of the seasons. By standing within it, the tribe aligned themselves with these rhythms, creating a sense of unity not just with each other, but with the universe itself. At the center of the circle often lay a sacred object, a stone, a carved totem, or even the fire itself. These focal points weren't just decorative, they were conduits believed to amplify the energy of the gathering and channel it outward. The fire, in particular, held a special significance. Its warmth and light brought people together, but it also symbolized transformation and renewal. As the flames danced, so too did the tribe's energy, rising and swirling in a shared expression of spirituality. The circle became a living, breathing entity, its boundaries not rigid but fluid, allowing the energy to flow freely between the participants. The rituals performed within the sacred circle were as varied as the tribes themselves. Some ceremonies focused on healing, with shamans moving from person to person, offering prayers and blessings. Others were celebrations, marked by drumming, chanting and dancing that pulsed with the rhythm of life. Still others were moments of quiet reflection, where the tribe would sit in silence, allowing the energy of the circle to guide their thoughts and intentions. Regardless of the purpose, the circle served as a space of safety and connection, a reminder that no one stood alone. What's remarkable about the sacred circle is its enduring legacy. Across cultures and centuries, the circle has remained a powerful symbol of unity and spirituality. From the medicine wheels of Native American traditions to the stone circles of ancient Europe, this shape continues to hold meaning for people around the world. Even in modern times, we see its influence in the way we gather around campfires, in support groups, or even in the circular designs of sacred architecture. The sacred circle reminds us that, no matter how far we've come, the human desire for connection and belonging remains as strong as ever. Through the ritual of the sacred circle, prehistoric tribes showed us something timeless, that unity is not just a concept but a practice, one that requires intention, presence, and respect. Their gatherings remind us that, when we come together in a spirit of equality and shared purpose, we create something greater than ourselves, a space where harmony can flourish and the rhythms of the universe can be felt. Whether around a fire or in the quiet of a meditation circle, the sacred circle invites us to remember that we are all part of something larger, a web of life that binds us together in ways both seen and unseen. As the drumbeats grew louder and the chants rose in intensity, the air seemed to shift, charged with an energy that was both palpable and otherworldly. This was the dance of the spirits, a ritual that transformed the physical act of movement into a sacred journey, one that bridged the gap between the earthly and the divine. For prehistoric tribes, this dance wasn't merely a performance, it was a profound act of communion, a way to step beyond the boundaries of the physical world and connect with the unseen forces that shaped their lives. The rhythm of the drums served as the heartbeat of the ritual, its steady pulse guiding the dancers into a trance-like state. As they moved, their bodies became instruments, each step and gesture a deliberate act of communication with the spirit world. The dancers didn't just move randomly, their motions were carefully choreographed, flowing in patterns that mirrored the cycles of nature's spirals, waves, and circles that symbolized the eternal flow of energy. The faster the drumming, the deeper the trance, as the dancers surrendered themselves to the rhythm, allowing it to carry them into a realm beyond ordinary perception. What made this dance so extraordinary was its purpose. It wasn't just about expressing reverence, it was about opening a portal, a gateway through which the spirits could enter the physical world. The tribe believed that through movement and sound, they could create a space where the boundaries between realms softened, allowing for dialogue with the divine. Shamans often led the dance, their bodies adorned with symbolic garments and their movements imbued with intention. They acted as intermediaries, channeling the energy of the spirits and relaying their messages to the tribe. Whether seeking guidance for a difficult decision, blessings for a harvest, or healing for the sick, the dance of the spirits was a way to access wisdom that lay beyond the limits of the human mind. The power of this ritual lay not just in its spiritual significance, but in its ability to unite the tribe. As the dancers moved in harmony, their individual energies merged into a collective force, creating a sense of unity and shared purpose. The drumming and chanting weren't just background noise, they were the threads that wove the tribe together, binding them in a shared experience of transcendence. In those moments, the tribe became more than a group of individuals. They became a single entity, connected not just to each other but to the vast, unseen web of life. This dance also reveals something profound about the human relationship with rhythm and movement. Across cultures and time, dance has been used as a way to access altered states of consciousness, to connect with the divine, and to express emotions that words cannot capture. The dance of the spirits reminds us that movement is more than a physical act. It is a language, one that speaks to the deepest parts of our being. It's a reminder that, even in our modern world, the power of rhythm and motion can still transport us, allowing us to touch something greater than ourselves. Through the dance of the spirits, prehistoric tribes showed us that the body is more than a vessel, it is a bridge, a tool for exploring the mysteries of existence. Their rituals invite us to consider the ways in which we, too, can use movement and sound to connect with the unseen, to find meaning in the rhythms of life, and to honor the forces that shape our world. Whether through dance, music, or meditation, the legacy of this ancient practice reminds us that the human spirit has always sought to transcend the ordinary, to reach beyond the confines of the physical and touch the infinite. And in that reaching, we find not just answers, but a deeper understanding of who we are. Amid the flickering glow of firelight and the soft rustle of wind through the trees, prehistoric tribes turned to something as ethereal as it was powerful: smoke. To them, smoke wasn't just a byproduct of fire. It was a sacred medium, a bridge that connected the earthly realm with the spiritual world. The ritual of the sacred smoke was a practice steeped in reverence, a way to purify spaces, communicate with the divine, and honor the unseen forces that shape their lives. By burning herbs like sage, cedar, and sweetgrass, they transformed simple flames into a profound spiritual tool, one that carried their prayers and intentions skyward. The act of creating sacred smoke was a ritual in itself. Carefully selected herbs were gathered and dried, their fragrant leaves and stems prepared with meticulous care. These plants weren't chosen at random. Each one held specific meanings and properties. Sage, for example, was believed to cleanse negative energy, while cedar was thought to bring protection and strength. As the herbs were lit, the smoke that rose wasn't just a physical phenomenon. It was a living, breathing entity, carrying the essence of the plants and the intentions of the tribe. The smoke became a messenger, a conduit between the human and the divine. Purification was one of the primary purposes of the sacred smoke. Before important ceremonies or gatherings, the tribe would use the smoke to cleanse the space, moving it through the air with deliberate motions. This wasn't just about removing physical impurities. It was about creating a sacred environment, one free from negative energies and open to spiritual connection. The smoke was believed to carry away anything that might disrupt the harmony of the ritual, leaving the space clear and ready for the presence of the spirits. In this way, the act of smudging wasn't just practical, it was deeply symbolic, a way of preparing both the physical and spiritual realms for communion. But the sacred smoke wasn't just for purification, it was also a tool for communication. As the smoke curled upward, it was thought to carry the tribe's prayers and offerings to the heavens. Shamans would often lead these rituals, their chants and invocations mingling with the fragrant smoke as it rose. The direction of the smoke, the way it moved and dissipated, was closely observed, believed to hold messages from the spirits. In this way, the smoke became a two-way channel, a means of both sending and receiving guidance from the unseen world. What makes this ritual so fascinating is its enduring legacy. Even today, the use of sacred smoke remains a powerful tradition in many cultures around the world. From the smudging ceremonies of Native American traditions to the burning of incense in temples and churches, the practice of using smoke to purify and connect continues to inspire. modern meditation practices often incorporate the burning of herbs or incense, recognizing their ability to create a calming, sacred atmosphere. This ancient ritual reminds us that the act of cleansing isn't just about the physical, it's about creating a space where the mind and spirit can find peace. Through the ritual of the sacred smoke, prehistoric tribes showed us something profound, that the seemingly simple can hold great power. Smoke, so often overlooked, became a symbol of transformation and connection, a way to bridge the gap between the seen and the unseen. Their practices invite us to consider how we, too, can create moments of pause and reflection in our own lives, using the tools of the past to find clarity and connection in the present. Whether through the burning of herbs, the lighting of candles, or the simple act of mindful breathing, the legacy of the sacred smoke reminds us that the spiritual is always within reach, waiting to be invited into our lives. In the flickering light of a ceremonial fire, a figure steps forward, their face obscured by a mask that seems to pulse with life. This wasn't just a disguise, it was a sacred object, a portal to the spirit world. For prehistoric tribes, masks were far more than decorative artifacts. They were transformative tools, capable of turning the wearer into a vessel for the divine. The ceremony of the sacred mask was a ritual steeped in reverence and artistry, a practice that blurred the line between the human and the supernatural, revealing the tribe's deep belief in the power of symbolism and transformation. The creation of these masks was a sacred act in itself, requiring not just skill but spiritual insight. Artisans would spend weeks, even months, crafting each mask from wood, clay, or animal hides, shaping them into forms that represented deities, ancestors, or powerful animal spirits. Every detail mattered: the curve of a beak, the glint of an eye, the texture of fur, each element designed to capture the essence of the spirit it embodied. As the mask took shape, it was believed to absorb the energy of the artist's intention, becoming more than just an object. It became a living conduit for the divine. Once crafted, the mask underwent a process of consecration, a ritual that imbued it with spiritual power. Shamans would often lead these ceremonies, chanting prayers and offering gifts to the spirits as they blessed the mask. Herbs, oils, or sacred smoke might be used to cleanse and sanctify the object, ensuring it was ready to serve as a bridge between worlds. This wasn't just a symbolic act, it was a way of awakening the mask's potential, of transforming it into a tool that could channel the energy of the spirits during rituals. When the time came for the mask to be worn, the ceremony reached its climax. The wearer, often a shaman or chosen member of the tribe, would don the mask, becoming a living embodiment of the spirit it represented. In that moment, the boundary between human and divine dissolved. The wearer's movements, voice, and even their presence seemed to shift, as if the spirit itself had taken control. Through this transformation, the wearer became a messenger, delivering blessings, warnings, or guidance from the spirit world to the tribe. It was a profound act of communion, one that reinforced the tribe's connection to the unseen forces that shaped their lives. What makes this ritual so compelling is its universality. From the animal spirit masks of indigenous cultures to the ceremonial masks of ancient civilizations, the use of masks as a means of transformation and communication has been a constant thread in human history. These objects remind us that art isn't just about beauty, it's about meaning, about the ability to transcend the ordinary and touch something greater. The sacred mask wasn't just a tool for ritual, it was a testament to humanity's enduring desire to connect with the divine, to find meaning in the mysteries of existence. Through the ceremony of the sacred mask, prehistoric tribes showed us the profound power of symbolism and transformation. Their rituals remind us that the act of creation is more than a physical process. It's a spiritual one, a way of giving form to the intangible and bringing the unseen into the light. These masks weren't just objects, they were gateways, invitations to step beyond the confines of the physical world and explore the boundless realms of the spirit. And as we look at the masks of today, whether in art, theater, or ritual, we can find inspiration in this ancient wisdom, remembering that every mask holds the potential to transform, to connect, and to reveal the hidden truths of the soul. In the heart of a moonlit clearing, the rhythmic pulse of drums began to echo, each beat resonating like the heartbeat of the earth itself. This was the ritual of the sacred drum circle, a practice that brought prehistoric tribes together in a symphony of sound and spirit. Far more than a musical gathering, this ritual was a profound act of unity, a way to harmonize not just with each other, but with the unseen forces that shaped their world. The drum circle wasn't just about rhythm, it was about connection, a shared experience that transcended words and touched the very soul of the tribe. At the center of this ritual was the drum itself, an instrument revered for its ability to mimic the natural rhythms of life. Crafted from animal hides stretched over hollowed wood or clay, each drum was believed to carry its own spirit, a living essence that could amplify the intentions of its player. When the tribe gathered in a circle, drums in hand, they weren't just making music, they were creating a sacred space, a portal where the physical and spiritual realms could meet. The circle itself was symbolic, representing the endless cycles of nature and the unity of the tribe. No one stood above or apart. Each person was an equal part of the whole, their individual rhythms blending into a collective heartbeat. As the drumming began, the rhythm started slowly, a steady pulse that gradually built in intensity. The sound wasn't chaotic but deliberate, each beat synchronized to create a powerful, hypnotic cadence. This wasn't just about creating music, it was about entering a trance-like state, where the boundaries between the self and the group began to dissolve. As the drumming grew louder and faster, the tribe became a single entity, their energy flowing together in a shared experience of transcendence. In this state, they believed they could communicate with the spirits, drawing on their wisdom and power to heal, guide, and protect the community. Healing was one of the primary purposes of the drum circle. The rhythmic vibrations were thought to cleanse the body and mind, releasing negative energy and restoring balance. Shamans often led these sessions, their drumming guiding the tribe through emotional and physical healing. But the drum circle wasn't just for the sick, it was a ritual for everyone, a way to strengthen the bonds of the tribe and reaffirm their shared identity. In times of celebration, the drumming became a joyful expression of life, its rhythms echoing the laughter and stories shared around the fire. In times of crisis, it was a source of strength, a reminder that the tribe was stronger together than apart. What makes the drum circle so fascinating is its enduring relevance. Even today, drum circles continue to be a powerful tool for connection and healing, used in everything from modern music therapy to community gatherings. The prehistoric tribes may not have had the scientific language to explain the effects of rhythm on the brain, but they understood its power intuitively. They knew that music wasn't just entertainment, it was a way to align the mind, body, and spirit, to create harmony within and without. Through the ritual of the sacred drum circle, prehistoric tribes showed us something timeless, that rhythm is a universal language, one that speaks to the deepest parts of who we are. Their practices remind us that, even in our fragmented modern world, the power of music and community can still bring us together, helping us find our own rhythm in the symphony of life. Whether through the beat of a drum or the shared silence of a moment, the legacy of the drum circle invites us to listen, to connect, and to remember that we are all part of the same great song. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the world settled into twilight, prehistoric tribes would gather to perform one of their most symbolic rituals, the dance of the elements. This wasn't just a display of movement, it was a profound act of reverence, a way to honor and harmonize with the fundamental forces of nature. Earth, air, fire, and water weren't just abstract concepts to these ancient people. They were living energies, each with its own spirit and power. Through this dance, the tribe sought to align themselves with these forces, creating a dynamic and symbolic performance that reflected their deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. The dance began with Earth, its energy represented by slow, deliberate movements. Dancers would crouch low, their hands brushing the ground as if drawing strength from the soil. Their steps were heavy and rhythmic, echoing the stability and fertility of the land. This wasn't just a physical act, it was a way of grounding themselves, of connecting with the Earth's enduring presence. The movements reminded the tribe of their dependence on the land for food, shelter, and survival, reinforcing their respect for its gifts. Next came air, embodied by light, flowing gestures that mimicked the wind's unpredictable dance. Arms would sweep and swirl, bodies turning and leaping as if carried by an invisible breeze. The dancers' movements became fluid and free, symbolizing the air's role in carrying seeds, spreading life, and bringing change. This part of the ritual was a reminder of the unseen forces that shaped their world, forces that could be gentle or fierce, but were always essential to life. The transition to fire brought a burst of energy, with rapid, flickering motions that mirrored the crackling of flames. Dancers would leap and spin, their movements sharp and intense, embodying fire's transformative power. Fire wasn't just a source of warmth or light, it was a symbol of passion, creativity, and renewal. Through these movements, the tribe celebrated fire's ability to purify and transform, to burn away the old and make way for the new. Finally, the dance flowed into water, its energy represented by smooth, undulating motions. Dancers would sway and ripple, their bodies moving like waves, embodying water's life-giving and adaptable nature. Water wasn't just a necessity, it was a symbol of emotion, intuition, and the flow of life itself. This part of the ritual reminded the tribe of the importance of flexibility and resilience, of moving with the currents rather than against them. What makes the dance of the elements so fascinating is its universality. Across cultures and centuries, the elements have been seen as the building blocks of existence, each one holding a unique power and purpose. This ritual wasn't just about honoring these forces, it was about finding balance within them. By embodying the qualities of earth, air, fire, and water, the dancers sought to create harmony within themselves and their community, a balance that was essential for survival and well-being. This dance also reveals something profound about the human relationship with nature. Prehistoric tribes didn't see themselves as separate from the elements but as part of them, their lives deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the earth. The dance of the elements was a way of acknowledging this connection, of reminding themselves that they were not conquerors of nature but participants in its cycles. This understanding is something that resonates deeply today, as we grapple with the consequences of environmental imbalance and seek ways to live more sustainably. Through the dance of the elements, prehistoric tribes showed us that harmony isn't just an idea, it's a practice, one that requires intention, respect, and a deep connection to the world around us. Their rituals invite us to consider how we, too, can find balance in our own lives, not just with the natural world but within ourselves, whether through dance, meditation, or simply taking a moment to appreciate the elements that sustain us. The legacy of this ancient practice reminds us that we are all part of a larger, interconnected web of life. And in that connection, we find not just balance, but a deeper sense of belonging. In the shadow of flickering flames, where the heat of glowing coals lit up the night, prehistoric tribes gathered for one of their most daring and transformative rituals, the sacred firewalk. This wasn't just a test of physical endurance, it was a profound act of courage, faith, and spiritual awakening. Imagine standing at the edge of a bed of hot coals, their fiery glow casting long shadows across the ground. The air is thick with anticipation, the rhythmic pulse of drums echoing in your ears, and the chants of the tribe urging you forward. For those who dared to walk across the burning path, this was more than a challenge, it was a journey into the heart of fear, a way to emerge transformed, purified, and connected to the divine. At the heart of the firewalk was the belief that fire held a dual nature. It could destroy, but it could also cleanse and renew. To walk across the coals was to confront this duality head-on, to face the primal force of fire and emerge unscathed, not just physically but spiritually. The ritual began with preparation, both mental and physical. Participants would often fast or meditate, entering a trance-like state that allowed them to transcend the usual limits of fear and pain. Guided by the steady beat of drums and the hypnotic chants of the tribe, they would focus their minds, channeling their energy into a single, unwavering intention, to walk through the fire and emerge reborn. The act of firewalking itself was a powerful metaphor. Each step across the coals symbolized the overcoming of obstacles, the conquering of fear, and the triumph of the spirit over the limitations of the body. It wasn't just about physical endurance, it was about trust in the self, in the tribe, and in the unseen forces that guided their lives. For the tribe, the firewalk was a communal act of faith, a way to reaffirm their belief in the transformative power of challenge. Those who completed the walk were seen as having undergone a profound purification, their courage and strength celebrated as a testament to the human spirit's resilience. But what made this ritual truly remarkable was its psychological and spiritual depth. The firewalk wasn't just a physical feat, it was a deeply symbolic act, one that mirrored the inner journey of facing and overcoming one's own fears and doubts. The heat of the coals, the intensity of the moment, and the collective energy of the tribe created a powerful, almost otherworldly experience. Participants often described feeling a sense of unity, not just with the tribe but with the universe itself, as if the act of walking through fire had opened a doorway to something greater. This ritual also reveals something profound about the human capacity for transformation. The firewalk wasn't just about proving bravery, it was about embracing the unknown, about stepping into the flames and trusting that you would emerge transformed. It's a lesson that resonates deeply today as we navigate the challenges of our own lives. The sacred firewalk reminds us that growth often comes through adversity, that the things we fear the most can become the very things that shape us into who we are meant to be. Even now, the legacy of the firewalk endures, not just in the few cultures that still practice it, but in the countless ways we seek to test our limits and confront our fears. From modern firewalking workshops to the metaphorical fires we face in our daily lives, the spirit of this ancient ritual lives on. It's a reminder that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to walk through it, to embrace the heat and emerge stronger on the other side. And in that act of walking through the flames, we find not just purification, but a deeper connection to the boundless potential of the human spirit. As the rhythmic pulse of drums reverberated through the air, prehistoric tribes gathered in a circle, their bodies swaying in unison to the beat. This wasn't just music, it was a lifeline, a connection to something far greater than themselves. The ceremony of the sacred drumbeat was a cornerstone of their spiritual life, a ritual that transformed sound into a bridge between the earthly and the divine. For these ancient people, the drum wasn't just an instrument, it was a living entity, its beat echoing the heartbeat of the earth itself. Through its rhythm, they believed they could tap into the pulse of the universe, aligning themselves with the forces that governed their world. The drumbeat served as the foundation of the ceremony, its steady, hypnotic rhythm guiding the tribe into a trance-like state. As the beat grew louder and faster, the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds began to blur. Dancers moved with fluid, almost instinctive motions, their bodies becoming extensions of the drum's vibration. The sound wasn't just heard, it was felt, resonating deep within the chest and soul, creating a sense of unity that transcended individuality. In this shared experience, the tribe became one, their collective energy rising and falling with the rhythm of the drums. This ritual wasn't just about creating a sense of connection, it was also a powerful tool for healing. The vibrations of the drum were believed to cleanse the body of negative energy, restoring balance and harmony. Shamans often led these ceremonies, using the drum's rhythm to guide participants through emotional and physical healing. The sound waves were thought to penetrate the very core of a person, breaking up blockages and releasing stagnant energy. For the sick or weary, the drumbeat offered a form of sound therapy, its steady pulse promoting relaxation and renewal. It was a reminder that healing wasn't just about the body, it was about aligning the mind, body, and spirit in perfect harmony. But the sacred drumbeat wasn't limited to healing, it was also a means of communication with the spirit world. The rhythmic patterns were believed to carry messages to the heavens, amplifying the tribe's prayers and intentions. Shamans would often use the drum to enter altered states of consciousness, where they could receive guidance from the spirits. The direction of the rhythm, the intensity of the beat, and even the pauses between strokes were thought to hold meaning, offering insights into the unseen forces that shaped their lives. In this way, the drum became a two-way channel, a tool for both sending and receiving messages from the divine. Celebration was another key aspect of the sacred drumbeat. In times of joy, the drum's rhythm became a heartbeat of festivity, its lively pulse driving the tribe's dances and songs. Whether marking a successful hunt, a bountiful harvest, or the arrival of a new season, the drumbeat was a way to express gratitude and joy. The sound carried the tribe's collective energy, transforming individual emotions into a shared experience of celebration. It was a reminder that life, even in its most challenging moments, was a gift to be honored and cherished. What makes the ceremony of the sacred drumbeat so compelling is its universality. Across cultures and centuries, the drum has remained a powerful symbol of connection and transcendence. From the tribal drum circles of Africa to the shamanic rituals of the Americas, the beat of the drum continues to inspire and unite. Even in our modern world, the power of rhythm to heal, connect, and transform remains as relevant as ever. Whether through the steady pulse of a meditation soundtrack or the energetic beats of a music festival, the legacy of the sacred drumbeat lives on, reminding us of the deep, enduring connection between sound and spirit. Through their rituals, prehistoric tribes showed us that rhythm is more than just a series of beats, it is a language, a way of communicating with the unseen and aligning ourselves with the rhythms of life. The ceremony of the sacred drumbeat invites us to listen, not just with our ears, but with our hearts, to the pulse that connects us all. In its steady, unyielding rhythm, we find a reminder of our place within the greater web of existence, a call to move in harmony with the world around us. And in that harmony, we discover not just connection, but a profound sense of belonging. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, prehistoric tribes prepared for a ritual that was as simple as it was profound, the ritual of the sacred offering. This wasn't just about giving food or objects. It was an act of reverence, a way to honor the spirits and ensure their continued favor. Imagine standing at the edge of a sacred grove, holding a bowl of freshly harvested grains or a jar of clear spring water. These weren't just items, they were gifts, carefully chosen to reflect the tribe's gratitude and respect for the unseen forces that shaped their lives. The act of offering was deeply symbolic, rooted in the belief that the spirits required acknowledgement and care. Tribes saw the world as a web of relationships where every action had consequences and every gift demanded reciprocity. By presenting offerings, they weren't just asking for blessings, they were participating in a sacred exchange. These gifts were placed at altars, sacred stones, or natural sites like springs and caves, places believed to be portals to the spirit world. The offerings varied. Sometimes they were practical, like food or drink, while other times they were symbolic, like carved figures or bundles of herbs. Each one carried meaning, a tangible expression of the tribe's connection to the divine. What made these offerings so significant was their role in maintaining balance. Prehistoric tribes believed that harmony between the physical and spiritual realms was essential for survival. If the spirits were neglected or angered, the consequences could be dire: failed harvests, sickness, or natural disasters. The sacred offering was a way to prevent such imbalances, a gesture of goodwill that kept the relationship between the tribe and the spirits strong. It was a reminder that survival wasn't just about skill or strength. It was about respect, humility, and the willingness to give as well as receive. The preparation of the offerings was often a communal act involving the entire tribe. Elders would lead prayers, artisans would craft symbolic objects, and hunters or gatherers would provide the food and drink. This collective effort wasn't just practical, it was a way of reinforcing the tribe's unity and shared purpose. When the offerings were finally presented, it wasn't a solitary act. It was a moment of communal reverence, a time for the tribe to come together and reaffirm their connection to something greater than themselves. What's fascinating about this ritual is how universal it feels. From the ancient world to modern times, the act of making offerings has remained a cornerstone of spiritual practice. Think of the incense burned in temples, the candles lit in churches, or the flowers placed at grave sites. These acts, though varied in form, share a common thread: the desire to honor, to give thanks, and to maintain a sense of balance. The ritual of the sacred offering reminds us that gratitude and reciprocity are timeless values, ones that have shaped human spirituality since the dawn of time. Through these offerings, prehistoric tribes showed us something profound: that the act of giving isn't just about the gift itself, it's about the intention behind it. Their rituals invite us to consider how we, too, can express gratitude and respect in our own lives, not just to the unseen, but to the people and world around us. In a society that often prioritizes taking over giving, the ritual of the sacred offering offers a powerful lesson: that balance and harmony begin with a simple act of giving, a recognition that we are all part of a larger, interconnected whole. As the drums began to echo through the night, their deep, resonant beats seemed to awaken something ancient, something eternal. This was the dance of the ancestors, a ritual that transcended time itself, bringing the living and the dead together in a sacred act of communion. For prehistoric tribes, the ancestors weren't distant memories, they were ever-present guides, their spirits woven into the fabric of daily life. Through this dance, the tribe sought to honor those who came before them, to invite their wisdom into the present, and to reaffirm the unbroken chain that connected the past, present, and future. The preparation for this dance was as meaningful as the performance itself. Dancers would don masks and costumes crafted to resemble their ancestors, each one a masterpiece of artistry and symbolism. These masks weren't mere decorations, they were portals, believed to channel the essence of the ancestors they represented. The careful selection of materials, from wood to feathers to pigments made from natural dyes, reflected the tribe's deep respect for the spirits they sought to honor. Every mask told a story, capturing not just the physical likeness of the ancestor, but their character, their wisdom, and their enduring presence in the lives of the living. As the dancers stepped into the circle, their movements began to mirror the rhythms of the drums, each beat a call to the ancestors. The dance wasn't chaotic or freeform, it followed deliberate, symbolic patterns designed to evoke the energy of the spirits. Some steps were slow and reverent, reflecting the wisdom and patience of the elders. Others were quick and lively, embodying the vitality and strength of those who had once led the tribe. The dancers' bodies became instruments, their motions a language that spoke directly to the spirits, inviting them to join the ceremony. What made this ritual so powerful was its ability to blur the lines between the living and the dead. As the dancers moved, it was believed that the ancestors themselves began to inhabit the masks, their spirits merging with the tribe. The drumming and chanting created a trance-like state, allowing participants to feel a profound connection to the unseen world. In those moments, the ancestors weren't just remembered, they were present. Their voices carried on the wind, their guidance felt in the rhythm of the dance. It was a reminder that the dead were never truly gone. They lived on in the stories, the traditions, and the very heartbeat of the tribe. This dance also reveals something extraordinary about the human need for connection. For prehistoric tribes, the ancestors weren't just figures from the past. They were active participants in the present, their influence shaping everything from daily decisions to major ceremonies. By honoring them through dance, the tribe reinforced their identity, their values, and their place within the larger cycle of life. It was a way of saying, "We remember you. We honor you, and we carry your legacy forward." Even today, the echoes of this ancient ritual can be felt in cultures around the world. From the Day of the Dead in Mexico, where families gather to celebrate and remember their loved ones, to the ancestor veneration practices of East Asia, the belief in the enduring presence of the dead remains a powerful tradition. The dance of the ancestors reminds us that memory is more than a mental exercise. It is a living, breathing act, one that connects us to our roots and shapes who we are. Through this ritual, prehistoric tribes showed us that the past is never truly lost. It lives on in the stories we tell, the traditions we uphold, and the love we carry for those who came before us. The dance of the ancestors invites us to pause, to reflect, and to honor the invisible threads that bind us to the generations that shaped our world. In the rhythm of the drums and the whisper of the wind, we can still hear their voices, reminding us that the bond between the living and the dead is as enduring as time itself. As we come to the end of our journey through these 30 astonishing forgotten rituals and ceremonies of prehistoric tribes, it's impossible not to feel a deep sense of awe and connection. These ancient practices, though separated from us by thousands of years, reveal a world where spirituality, creativity, and community were woven into the very fabric of life. From the flickering flames of sacred fires to the rhythmic pulse of ancestral dances, each ritual offers a window into the hearts and minds of our ancestors, showing us a way of living that was deeply attuned to the natural and spiritual worlds. What stands out most is not just the ingenuity of these early communities, but the profound reverence they held for the forces that shaped their lives. They didn't just survive, they thrived by finding meaning in the cycles of nature, the movements of the stars, and the whispers of the spirits. Their ceremonies were more than just traditions. They were acts of gratitude, humility, and connection, reminding us that even in the harshest of environments, humanity has always sought to find harmony with the world around it. These rituals also challenge us to reflect on our own lives. In a world that often feels fragmented and fast-paced, the wisdom of the past offers a powerful counterbalance. The sacred fire teaches us the importance of transformation and renewal. The dance of the ancestors reminds us of the enduring bonds between generations. The offerings to the spirits call us to practice gratitude and reciprocity. These are not just lessons from history, they are invitations to live with greater intention, to honor the connections that sustain us, and to find beauty in the rhythms of life. As we close this exploration, let's carry forward the spirit of these ancient practices. Let's remember that the rituals of the past are not relics, they are living legacies, threads that connect us to the timeless human quest for meaning and belonging. Whether through acts of gratitude, moments of reflection, or simply pausing to appreciate the world around us, we can honor the wisdom of those who came before while creating our own rituals for the future. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the mysteries of history. If you found this exploration as fascinating as we have, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more adventures into the past. Together, let's keep uncovering the stories that remind us of who we are and where we've come from. Until next time, may the wisdom of the ancients inspire your path forward.